Welcome everyone here to the Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warrior Series presented by 42 Stitches here on Apex Racing TV. I am Avery McDonald, your commentator today. Joined alongside me doing the production and a little bit of commentary is Alex Simpson. We're here at the Circuit Gillesville New for round 5 of the Weekend Warrior Series, and we got a jam-packed grid for you today. 49 cars so far. Alex, this is a very tricky track. How do you think these cars are going to be able to handle this long straights with tight turns? Oh, sorry about that. What a the Spec Race Ford Weekend Warrior Series always have a really good races. We were at Daytona International Speedway last week, and they put on a good show. Long straightaways with the toe. You're going to see that today here at Montreal with some long straight. So we'll see how these cars are going to be able to adapt to this track. Uh, Now joining alongside me is Alex Simpson.
Yeah, sorry about that. Crazy little microphone issues all of a sudden out of nowhere. I got a bit panicky there. Yeah, I think Avery, it's going to be one of those race meets, one of those broadcasts. Fingers crossed that is all of the gremlins out of the way for this one. But like I say, Montreal F1 track, super wide open, lots of draft. I think these cars are going to have to be a little bit careful through those chicanes. Obviously, walls are close. Wall of Champions, always a very, very difficult one. So it's going to be interesting. Who knows? I think what's going to happen with this one. Will we see some big crashes? Of course, there's concrete walls right to the side of the circuit. So if there is a crash, it's going to bounce straight back onto the circuit, perhaps onto the racing line. Could be a real problem. Hopefully, we don't see that, and we just have some epic racing.
Yeah, qualifying just getting ready to be completed. About 30 minutes left. Let's take a look at actually our Spec 1 standings before the timer goes up. In the lead, took over the lead from David Gaspers last week at Daytona International Speedway. Gorka Itoret is your leader in the point standings of the Spec 1 class, followed by Daniel Sadro, Austin Winter, David Gaspers, who missed last week, Jeff Fritcher, Dominique Barreau, Steven Elson, Forns Arabian, David Bohm, and Felix Samos. Still a pretty tight points battle. The points don't really look like they are tight from what most people consider uh, how points work, but there's 100 points for the winner, followed by in second place you get 90 points and 83 for third. So really, if you finish first, you're going to get a big difference between second and third. In the Spec 2 standings, which is for drivers under under 3,000 I rating, under 3,000 I rating, numbered over 200, you have Antonio Reyes, Bob Kern, Kenneth Bately, Miro, Yuri Cox, Ian Gibson, Paulo Breme, Paul Jackson, and Maxine Thomason, and Simone Mayer. Antonio Reyes has pretty much been the class of the field for the Spec 2 standings. Once again, that's drivers with under 3,000 I rating and with a number over 200. So it's really cool to see two different classes with the same car. So if you're a driver like myself who isn't very good, I have somebody I can race against for a standing. So that's your Spec 1 and Spec 2 standings. Qualifying has just been completed here at the Montreal Circuit Gillesville New in good old Canada, just north of where I am in America. But we have a good sized grid here, Alex, a little bigger than we've seen the past couple weeks.
Yeah, nice to see. Full turnout once again. Qualifying does indeed look very, very close, as it has been sort of every meeting that I've covered so far. And yep, I'll leave you, Avery, to take us through the highlights of qualifying.
Yeah, let's take it through the grid here for the Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warrior Series presented by 42 Stitches. Austin Winter starting on the pole with Felix Samos, and then Rafael Burbagal, who's missed a couple of weeks but is very strong. Rodrigo Duran, Gorka Itoret, Forns Arabian, Andres Bottoni, Hugh Haycox, who ran real strong last week until a couple incidents brought him to the back. Young Lin, and then we have David Bohm, Jeff Fritcher, yeah, Daniel Sedro, Bobby West, Sergio Dorelli, Angus Waddell, Kenneth Bately, Antonio Reyes, Nico Shook, Michael Dobeck, Mitch Weatherly, Ryan Sorrell, Ian Haycox, Miro. They have Miro, Brian Short, Adam Bradshaw, Dominic Barreau, Peter Rokers, Jim McGill, Mayer, Nunez, Kern, Jacobson, Matthew Flipowicz, Richard Franco, Ari Lepa. And then in 37th, we have Brett Nordstrom, Paulo Breme, Jeff Cantor, Tom Gradwell, Yo Simpkins, Claudio, Paul Jackson, Ian Gibson, Johan Butinga, Mark Rehan, Mats Grant. And then in 49th, Tim Van and Samuel Dick. Before we get going, 42 Stitches is for full service custom apparel decoration. Check out 42 Stitches. They specialize, and we will get to that later as we go green flag racing here with Austin Winter and Felix Samos. We have a 40-minute race. We'll get that sponsor in just in a moment. So yeah, Winter and Samos on the right side, kind of trying to get that preferred line, but Winter gets him through turn number 1. Get through these very tight corners, relatively clean so far as they go into my favorite part of the track. They can take a look at Angus Waddell there, series regular in the S1 category. Remember, S1 drivers are over 3,000 I rating, signified numbers between 1 and 199, and then S2 classes 200 and up. That's drivers under 3,000 I rating. Waddell side by side with Bately. Bately able to get a good corner exit back up to the front. We have Winter, Samos, Berbergal, and Duran, your top 4. Down the long straightaway. Staying in the toe. That's a long train of cars. It's a train. Oh, we have problems with I believe they looked to be the 207 Nico Shook. Kind of might have gone a little sideways. Looked like he collected up though. But we're looking at Rodrigo Duran, the Volcano car with Duran and then Itoret, his teammate behind him. Itoret, your points leader so far. On board with Berbergal. See, Winter gonna try to hold up Samos. Samos had a good run into that corner, but Samos gets loose and goes sideways and almost hits the wall. You hate to see it.
Yeah, so early on, just perhaps cold tires there, just got a little twitch, but did he save it? Is he still going?
Hey, it looked like he was able to save it.
Yeah.
But there he is sitting back in around 6th place. Oh, what a unfortunate incident, Alex. But he was able to maintain in the front pack, so very lucky for Austin Winter for what happened. Looks like Samoa is going to lead lap number 1 here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warrior Series.
With a slowdown as well. That looks like Kenneth Bately, perhaps with the slowdown. He's dropping down the order, but yeah, not good. Easy to get on the opening lap as well, and it's absolutely dire when you do get it, because obviously you haven't set any deltas or anything like that, so the sim seriously punishes you, so something you've always got to be careful of.
Yeah, you have to be careful. You want to be super aggressive on the first lap just to make up as much time. Before we forget, this is a little word from 42 Stitches, full service custom apparel decoration. Check out 42 Stitches. They specialize in embroidery, heat transfer. You can take your idea from sketch to finished product, everything from shirts to hats to masks to gaiters. Check them out at 42stitches.com and shoot them an email at info@42stitches.com to get your project started. 42 Stitches has you covered, and they have some great stuff. I looked at their website last week, and yeah, some really cool things that they put out, so check them out for supporting this awesome series. As we take a look at Sergio Dorelli, trying to hold up Daniel Sadro. Sadro's been running relatively strong the last couple weeks, sitting in the 13th position. See Yuri Cox there.
It's our Spec 2 leader. Seeing the time in tower for those that are tuning in for the first time. 286.
Yeah, that's a really good run for that Spec 2 category at Cox, with running up in 10th, battling with a lot of the S1 drivers. Just see side by side with the 41 of Itoret, your Spec 1 standings points leader. Ooh, a little bump draft from I believe, yeah, it is the 86 of the 286 of Cox. He's got a custom number on there. Never mind, excuse me, doesn't have 286 and 86 in front of him. That makes it very confusing. But really good run for him so far. We have a new leader in Berbergal. in the S1 class, as you see him side by side with Samos. Man, that Volcano car running super strong. It goes Berbergal, Samos, and Duran, the top 3. Then you have a little bit of gap to Winner, but Winner did spin on the first lap, able to maintain up to 4th place. One thing to keep in mind here with the Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warrior Series is there's a limit on fuel. Their limit is 45% fuel, which averages out to about 28 minutes of fuel. So these drivers will have to make a pit stop, and we'll see strategy. We saw the strategy differentiate last weekend at Daytona International Speedway. So we'll see how it'll unfold today, but we're still very early in this race, so not quite to the pit window yet.
Just looking on board the chopper cam. Battle for 5th place.
Yeah, that chopper cam gives a great look at the battle for 5th. You see Arabian gonna try to work together with Winner. There's just a little bit of a gap, about a 4/10 of a second gap between 3rd and that 4th, which is the second train. So you might see them try to work together. Winner are starting to close up a little bit. Very important turn here. We saw him on lap number 1 just get sideways and almost hit the wall, but able to maintain the front pack as they go down this long straightaway here at Montreal, led by the Volcano car of Berbergal.
That's nowhere to look at the moment. There's so many battles going on everywhere. Just tuning into one from 14th place as well. Lynn and Angus here having a little good battle, but we've got Bobby West and Mitch Weatherly behind. You can see everyone just sort of darting out of the draft down that back straight. Huge straight, so a lot of opportunity for to get a good run.
Yeah, there's so many battles on this track. I mean, it's just so awesome to see. Like, you know, I said it last week. You know, these cars aren't very popular in the official series, but this series, in general, this Weekend Warrior Series makes it very popular. Take a look at Dobek. He's trying to make a nice move.
Got someone to the right.
It looks like, I believe that is Weatherly. Yeah, it is Weatherly in the 4. Weatherly able to clear him. Had the preferred line going into the second corner there on the straight. But Dobek, he's gonna give it everything he's got. He's won 17th and he wants more because they're going to try to chase down Bobby West, who's in front of them. Good run so far for Dobek, though, sitting in 18th with Spec 2 points leader behind him in Antonio Reyes. Oh, the 286 of Yuri Cox in the 53. Wow. Ooh. West involved. Waddell was involved. Cox was involved. More carnage behind us. Wow.
Yeah, people still dropping down the order, but everyone, Nunes, definitely involved in that as well. Oh, and there's some aftermath as well going into the next chicane. Who was that out? I think the 35, Jim McGill. Sorry, the 142 in 35th position. Yeah, it's all going on.
You know, we talked about it earlier today that, you know, there could be some carnage here with these long straights and tight chicanes, and you know, we've seen a little bit so far. 7.5 minutes into this 40-minute race, you see Austin Winter still in a great spot. You know, it's I believe the 6 or 7 car train there, a real good train. You see David Bohm behind him with Fritcher. They're going to try to work together to get up to that first pack. It's going to be very difficult for them as this first pack is very quick. Winner. Oh, Berbergal went a little bit wide, but not too wide. You got to be careful with the grass with these cars. Well, let alone every car here at iRacing. But you know, maintain leads for the Volcano cars. It's Berbergal, Duran. The teammates are 1-2 with Samos, who's very quick. This front pack is just filled with, I mean, this whole field is filled with a bunch of talent, but this front pack is, you know, some of the best drivers I've ever seen drive this car around. You know, I've been watching this official series, you know, the last couple of weeks just to kind of get an eye on how the other races are, and you know, they're very similar, very fast, and always great battles. Such a fun track. Remember, this is a 13-week series. You'll see it for me, Sunday afternoon. Take a look at your local time. It starts like 15 minutes ago every week on Sundays. Such a fantastic series. It's one of my favorite series to watch. So make sure you tune in next week. But 9 minutes into this 40-minute main event with Duran trying to work together with Verbical to try to make a little pack, but it's going to be very tough to do as they come down the final sets of straights here at Montreal to complete the 5th lap here with Verbical in front.
Just trying to get a sense whether or not, you know, somebody sat in P3 can get an actual run of the leader down this back straight. Don't think they can. The draft's pretty sizable, but not that big. So I think if the Volcano guys can work well together here, perhaps if Duran can just, you know, back up the rest of the pack just a little bit, just so that there's 3 or 4 tenths of a second gap coming onto these long straightaway sections, then they can in some sense control the race, because he'll be able to slipstream back up to them. The guys won't be able to get by. So useful having your teammate just sort of play that little game, just you know, just ever so slightly ease in the pack through those corners, and maybe they can time their pit stops, things like that, and try and keep ahead of this this pack. But of course, fuel's going to be a big deal if it's Raphael that stays at the front, because he's going to be burning up fuel far quicker than his teammate is, so not necessarily going to be able to stick with each other through the pits.
Yeah, we saw last week with Ian Haycox, who's unfortunately not here today for this race. He went and pitted all alone, and we were thinking that was going to be a disadvantage for him, but he, like he told us in his interview after the race, I pitted all alone, that way I had a clean entrance and a clean exit, and it worked out very well for him to take home a podium. So maybe drivers are going to utilize what they saw last week. Take a look at the Spec 2 class leader right now, Antonio Reyes, and he's also the Spec 2 championship leader. I mean, taking over that first position, running in 16th overall. So very strong run for him, as he has an opportunity not just to win the Spec 1 championship and win this race, but an opportunity to pass some, a Spec 2 championship, excuse me, an opportunity to pass some of these Spec 1 drivers that are right in front of him. Look for him to maintain good pace. I'm going to look to the right side a little bit of Fritcher Waddell. So, you know, really good train here from about the 4 car of Weatherly's leading. That's 14th all the way back to 17th, which is Dobek. So real strong run for Antonio so far.
It's quite big gaps, which surprised me, that has formed up quite quickly, and I don't know if that was some of the little incidents that happened a few laps back, but certainly yeah, I just expected bigger, like a really big pack, much like you were describing that you saw at Daytona. But yeah, as it is, you know, there are little pockets of racing going on out there, and people might be able to get to the front of that little pack, but it's whether or not they can close up to the group ahead of them. So I mean, this battle's got 5 seconds ahead, you know, to build till they get to the next pack, so it's quite a jump.
Yeah, lots of little packs, and you know, there is some good gaps, and you know, like you said, it could be because of the incidents. We'll take a look at Yuri Cox, who's in 3rd in the Spec 2 race standings, or excuse me, in the Spec 2 class here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. You know, Ian Haycox ran really strong last week at Daytona, had a couple incidents that caught him towards, you know, the middle of the field, but up in 19th overall here, doing really strong. Ian, he is actually here. I thought he wasn't here, but him and his dad, Hugh Haycox, a really cool little combo. You know, that's the one thing that I really like about iRacing. You know, I've raced a couple times with my old man. He's fortunately much slower than I am, so it's really cool to experience that. So Ian running really strong in 19th.
See the damage that Yuri's got on the front of yeah, Cox got in front of his car there as well. Went a little bit deep, and I think that was actually because it was Bradshaw we just saw while we were looking at the gearbox cam there. Went in a bit hot, and I think almost caught Cox out, and Cox had to go a bit deep just to do it. But yeah, a lot of people suffering with the damage to the right side of the car, and I don't know if that's the curbs. It looks like there's a battle just going on ahead. Oh, and that's Nico around Major into the final chicane. Got himself out of the way, but yeah, bit of a battle, and all of a sudden, a few people into the pits as well, I think. So
Yeah, a lot of some people in the pit. I'm not quite sure what happened to Gorka hit to red. I don't know if it was a tow or if it was a pit, but he was a driver that was up in the front, and bad luck for him. But we're up in front with Duran, and then Berbergal's in front of him, the Volcano cars.
I think he came in okay. Looking at that, I was just seeing the replay. But yeah, as we go back to the front battle, there's nothing between these guys, and I don't think there is going to be for quite some time.
Yes, the Gorka able to make this one pit stop in the pit window, so he's trying to run a little bit, a short pit in there, so he could run the rest of the. Oh, look at that 31 of Samos tries to drive it into Duran and close, almost made a little bit of contact, but you know Duran kind of just let him go. You don't really want to go side by side coming out there for the best exit, but so it's going to be Berbergal, Samos, Duran, and winner with Arabian in the top 5, and Bertoni just hanging on to that slipstream of this lead pack. Look at that train coming down that straightaway. And then Fritcher behind him in that 43 is kind of like, guys, I need you to start battling so we can start catching up. So hopefully that's what he wants to see. Look at that train coming out. These drivers are so close to each other, neck and neck down the straightaway as they come across the line to complete lap number 8 and on to lap number 9. 15 minutes and 45 seconds into this 40-minute race.
You're right, that is exactly what they need, is this huge pack just to start battling, and then there's the chance that they may well be able to close back in, but it doesn't. They all look like they're just willing to let people go to some extent. They're not battling yet. I think that may change sort of after pit stops though.
Yeah, that may change. You know, we are in the pit window. A lot of these drivers like to wait till that 27-minute mark to come in pit, because you can go about 28 minutes. We got Haycox in the pit, Durelli in the pits, and Samuel Dix also in the pits. So some drivers are making their way down pit road. You have to have a good pit entrance, and remember, these cars do not have a pit road speed limiter, so you want to be right on that razor's edge. Just take a look at Dominic Barreau in the 108 with Miro in front of him. A little bit squirrely Miro was coming out of that corner, dives it in, hits the apex. Take a look at Lynn Cox. Lynn
and Cox, they've been battling all race long so far as well, so not giving up at all.
And not giving up at all. These drivers, you know, they're going to battle you hard for first. They're going to battle you hard for 21st. It don't matter what position it is. These drivers are going to race each other hard and clean as much as they can. So yeah, you're going to see out battling throughout the whole racetrack, and that's what's really cool about this. And the timing tower, so Samos took over the lead from Berbergal. But yeah, you're able to have a clean little race. There's a good little gap. As you see from, I believe that is leading that pack is the 211 of Ryan Sorrell. And Ryan's got a nice little 5-second gap between, well, it's a bad 5-second gap for him. We'll take a look at Nico Shook on board. On the left side of him is Bradshaw down the straightaway. Nico's going to have the preferred line going into the chicane.
They're lifted.
Such a long straightaway.
They've still got him.
And he makes the overtake nice and easy.
Oh, into the pits he comes. Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it, with this pit stop as well. You know, you've got to, you kind of almost got to broadcast that you're coming in so that the guys don't try and turn into you, because you brake so much later when you pit than you do, you know, when you need to turn for the chicane. Oh, still Cox having a battle out there as well.
Yeah, battles throughout the whole racetrack. We got Lynn, Cox, Barreau, and Mayer all in a train, and they've been going side by side in almost every corner they can. And you see Lynn trying to make a move on the 205 of Miro. Wow, this is some of the best racing I've seen in a long time, and I've been watching so many Apex Racing TV broadcasts for years, and this is some of the best racing I've ever seen. And such a slow car that you don't really, you know, most drivers just kind of skip by in the iRacing ladder. So if you skip this car, make sure you go back and try it out after this, and see what you like. Maybe check out this series one if they have any openings. But yeah, we take a look at Lynn, just right there, gonna try to make a move. Wow, makes a nice clean pass. Uses that slipstream to get around him.
Oh, contact behind.
Little contact behind. That's the 108 of Bureau, who was around. Kind of gets back going a little bit. Lost like 4 or 5. Now it's like 6 or 7 positions for Bureau, down to 22nd. Remember, these drivers have to make a pit stop, and the pit stop will be happening in the next 9 to 8 minutes or so. Your current leader would be Gorka Tourette, who came down pit road. He's currently in the overall 20th. As you see on your timing counter on the left side, we have more drivers pitting. Nunez coming down pit road. Jacobson, Lynn.
Nunez
a good
wanted
pit entrance.
to, yeah, Nunez would have taken more speed there, but he didn't have the opportunity, so did well not to collect his rivals there as he come in. But yeah, pit stops happening. I mean, we're at 50% mark, so it's kind of to be expected a little bit, but yeah, there's been a variety of strategies in this race, so we'll have to see how some of those pan out. I am having a tiny little issue with our crash system, which kind of indicates whether or not a driver has had a little accident or something like that. Lots and lots of reports coming in, and I think just for whatever reason something's triggering that at this meeting, so it's going to be a bit difficult for me to dig out the genuine ones and find the replays and stuff like that, so apologies for that, but just kind of letting you guys know what is going on there.
Yeah, we got Samos leading this train with Burbigal, Durand, Winner, Arabian, and Bertoni. And then we have another car behind him that is Haycox. So yeah, we have a really good train here. As you see, the 664 car that's a lap down, or about to become a lap down. He'll make sure he'll be able to get out of the way when the leaders catch up. But you know, these leaders, you know, the lap times are around the 156 minute mark. So you know, just a couple more laps, and they're gonna have to make their way down pit road on board with Durand looking from the right side. I love that little mirror. I say it every week. But Durand, good point of view from the driver's right side of the helmet, and just kind of drives it in the corner a little bit. And it's all about keeping that momentum. You know, these cars don't really have good acceleration. They're kind of they're a slow car, but you need to keep that good momentum so he can keep up with the top two of Samos and Burbigal. Raphael won here at Mid-Ohio a couple weeks ago in the 23 car, so good to see him back here out on the track in a podium position right now in the Spec 1 class. A couple drivers are making their way down pit road. That is your Spec 2 leader. Antonio Reyes comes down pit road, so we'll see where he comes out when the pit cycle goes through. But Durand, look at that, it's such a long straightaway, still barely in the slipstream. Does a good drive into the corner. Little mix up for Samos. We'll see if any of these drivers are going to make their way down pit road.
You have to think one or two is going to do it at some point. They'll want to do it at an opportune time where they're not going to, like I say, have to check up right now. Rodrigo, I think, is a terrible idea unless both the other two jump in ahead of him. Maybe Raphael having a little look. No, they're all braking in towards the final chicane. Wall of Champions not being threatened too much there by Durand.
Yeah, you don't want to. You kind of want to have a good clean entrance, because if you're that third car in the line and you're announcing you're going to pit and those cars aren't, you can't run them over, so you're going to lose a lot of time. So we'll see like who's going to be able to make the pit road. Like Austin Winter right now is a little bit behind him, so he might be in a good opportunity to come down pit road and not lose time. You see the lap car 664, that is the driver of Johan Batinga, letting them go by. Very nice of him to do that. As you can see, Bertoni, not at the end of the pack, but towards the end of this little lead pack with the 71 of Haycox and David Haycox behind him. Look at Gorka Tourette. So as it goes now, as it is now, he will be the leader of, he's the lead car of the drivers who have pitted, and he had a very good pit time. I was taking a look at the timing. 47-second, the fastest so far down pit road. That includes entering pit lane and exiting pit lane with the pit stop. So 47 seconds for him. So yeah, he had such a great pit stop. Now we see there's a Berbergal now your leader with Samos there.
Oh, they're getting into it right now as well. Definitely pit stops are due, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna either have to pit this time or most likely the next time by. We'll see who's gonna make it down pit road. None of the drivers have keyed up in the text chat that they are pitting. So we'll see if Bertoni just announced he's gonna be pitting. Bertoni's pitting. Berbergal's gonna. Oh, some Moses goes through. That's gonna be a slowdown. What a big loss for him.
I don't know if he didn't see the message or something like that, but he was obviously spotting Raphael there in terms of his braking points, and of course when Raphael just went streaming straight on, he realised, oh well, I'm not going to make that corner.
Yeah, you got to be very cautious, definitely around pit road, definitely the way this pit lane is, like you said earlier, Alex. You know, it's a little bit different pit lane. You're going right into a chicane, or you just fly right straight into pit lane and get hard on the binders. But unfortunately for him, he's still in this lead pack. You see it's Duran, Winner, Arabian, Haycox, and Samos. Your front pack. Berbergal, there's Simone Mayer. Berbergal came out of the pits ahead of Tourette, so great job by those two drivers. But Simone Mayer right now is your leader of the S1 category, but the one thing is he needs to make a pit stop. Take a look at Lynn, who's battling side by side with multiple drivers. And then there's Ian Haycox and Sergio Dorelli comes down pit road, excuse me. Looks like he, you know, a driver that we see all the time here and always up in front. We're going to see when pit road cycles, the pit lane cycles through. But right now it's Duran and Winner. Expect them to come down pit road. Nobody said anything in the text chat yet in the sim about making the way down pit road. They still have a little bit of time to make up their mind. Duran, Winner, Arabian, and Haycox. And Samoa's just in the end. I believe only one driver, that's Duran, could make their way down pit road, and Samoa's comes down too.
Yeah, I wonder if the lead bunch are basically going to peel off one at a time, depending on how long they've left it.
Yeah, because you don't want to.
A lot of people
you want to have
actually.
Yeah, you want to have some help there, but you know, a lot of drivers, you know, maybe not able to make another lap around. You see Fritcher, Cedro, Bohm, Samos, and Duran in pit road. That's a big pack there, Alex. It's going to see those drivers come in with minimal damage coming into pit road, because when you have a hard pit entrance like that, accidents can happen. You see the 10 of Duran leaving pits.
Tell you what has happened is we've got quite a gap sort of in that mid-pack now. Everyone seems to be spaced apart. The pit stops are definitely like where we had lots of battles going on. The sort of from 10th place down to around where we're looking now, which is 26th place, there's fairly sizable gaps, but we have this little gaggle that we'll have to keep an eye on. Just to see where people filter out from the pits, I think, because this might make this one. Oh, who is that? Into the wall. Hard. I think he got a helping hand. I'm going to see if I can find that. That's not Dominique, is it? Surely not.
No, it's it looked to be Dominique Barreau, the 108. Take a look at what happened here.
Oh, he just lost on his own?
Yeah, just lost it on its own.
Unusual one, just a bit heavy on the brakes, I think. Car is a mess. He's probably struggling with that, to be honest.
Yeah, unfortunate circumstances for him. back up to Dorelli. He's got a handful of Antonio Reyes, the Class 2 championship leader and the current Class 2 leader here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warrior Series presented by 42 Stitches. So yeah, great run for Reyes, and Dorelli had a good job in pit lane. Did a really good job going through pit lane, maintaining a good gap. Dorelli up in the 16th position.
So you have got the leaders come in, so winners in. I think that whole little group actually has all jumped into the pits. Now just waiting for the timing tower just to sort itself out. I think that pretty much makes everybody in now. Raphael, of course, the first of that little group to come in. He's going to come out. He's going to be quite a bit far behind. Let's have a look. So Raphael was 50.2 seconds in the pits against someone like the 47s, 46s. So yeah, he's lost out a lot by jumping in just those few laps earlier, not getting the fuel figures quite right.
Yeah, did a fantabulous job. They did for Yuri Cox up in the lead. He's already made his pit stop. It looks like, yep, made a pit stop, but he's gonna have to come back in. I'm assuming he was only had a pit lap of. He did come in at lap 15, so he should be okay. But good run for Yuri Cox up into second. Ooh, great run for Duran. Get around the lap car, the 255. Man, Duran and Haycox have a really nice gap, about a 2-second gap, and they really need to work together to pull away from Winner and Arabian and Samoa's, that little 3-car train. Luckily for them, they have the lap car of the 255, not necessarily holding them up, but maintaining a car in front of them. It's very important for them. Winner needs to work around them. See, Winner gets around the slow car.
I was going to see if
so does Arabian.
Hugh will be able to get a run. He's having some connection issues as well, which I think we saw before he pitted. He was right at the back of the pack, but that's kind of what we need to see, I think, from the pair of them, is just to get that little run by, and actually tucks back in. So I don't know quite what happened there for Hugh, whether he got the line all wrong, lost all the momentum on the exit, but actually, the guys have been able to catch up quite a bit. They're 1.3 seconds behind now, so yeah, one more just little fight or little mess up like that, and this is going to be back to a 5-car pack.
Yeah, with them battling like that, that really opens the door up for Arabian, Winner, and Samoa's. You see there's Burbergo right behind him, had a little slower pit stop than the other drivers, so that really hurt him. Take a look at Antonio Reyes, your Class 2 or Spec 2 race leader so far. Another strong run, trying to extend his lead over Bob Kern, who's in second place in the point standings. And Bob's having kind of a rough day, sitting back kind of far in the point standings. Or not in the point standings, in the overall in 27th. So a pretty good little gap for him, but he's still sitting in second place in the points with the Spec 2 standings. And I've said it before, Bob Kern, a long-time member.
Yeah, there he is as well. Car looks clean, no damage on that at all. So, yeah, you never know what might happen in the last sort of 10 minutes of the race. So it's important just to try and pick up some spots if you can. This little cluster, they look a little bit worse. Wear just ahead of him as well. So a bit more battling. Then you know, he might have 5 or 6 places and try and mitigate the fact that Reyes is going to sort of win another class victory, extend that lead.
Yeah,
I wonder if Reyes is going to be reclassed as well, because he definitely seems very, very dominant and would be quiet. Kenneth Bately there on the brakes. It looked like actually he sort of 2 into 1 to some extent. Let's take another look at that. We can see exactly what happened. See,
take a look at that.
Just on the brakes, he just drifted over, didn't he, to the left, and actually there wasn't enough room. And yeah, nothing can be done at that point. It's, once you make that contact to that rear sort of quarter panel, then it's kind of game over.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. And Antonio's right on the cusp of becoming over a 3,000 I rating driver. So things are going the way it is. We'll probably see him in the Spec 1 category, I believe, when the season ends. But yeah, what a great run by Samos, trying to get around Arabian there. Take a look at Arabian right there. The California club wasn't able to pretty much make it stick, and gets a great exit out of the corner. Arabian and Samos side by side. Samos has a little better of a run. We'll see if Arabian's going to try to make the overtake or just sit behind. He's still sitting side by side with them down this long straightaway. 2-second gap between top two and the second.
I did not realise.
Winner's helping him out.
I was about to say, I absolutely did not realise that Winner was there at all until suddenly he just appeared on the left side of our screen there. But yeah, wanted a piece of that action too. A little bit of bump drafting going on. The front two actually are pulling away. You can see these guys having the battle. Maybe they're almost saying, well, I think first and second is done. We're going to have to just go for the last place on the podium, fight it out. Because, yeah, I can't see that they're going to get there right now. Lots of traffic though that's going to throw into the mix as they're having to dart through. Oh no, Winner caught up with the, was that the 314?
Yeah, looked at me the 314. Oh yeah, hate to see it, just bad timing, but Winner's gonna maintain the 6th position. I'm not maintain, fall back to 6th, and the car looks relatively clean. I want to apologize earlier. I said Ian Haycox ran into the podium. It was actually Hugh Haycox, his son, who in the podium. We'll take a look at the instant replay. You just see the number 2 and Winner just ran out of real estate. Just a bad timing there. You hate to see it for that front pack.
Easily done when you're obviously the lap cars, they got to be given a little bit of room on the circuit as well, and they do already moved over once. Got to get through that chicane. Natural, when you have that odd line, it's going to push you out wide. Once again, these guys battling. Was Felix able to break away a little bit here? He is, yeah, the 31 car there as well. So Felix Smoes, with all that went on in that lap, was able to get himself a good 2.5 second jump. That was really, he was able to get through that traffic before the chicane that caught Winner out there. So yeah, just worked that traffic really, really well. It made all the difference, and he looks good for 3rd place now. And suddenly, if these top 2 do start battling in the last 3 minutes of this race, we may well have a chance of getting a bit of a run on them. But we'll have to, we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, just over 2 minutes to go left here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Just a couple laps to go. You got Hugh Haycox and then Duran, your top 2, and then like you said, Samos in 3rd. 3 to 2.5 seconds back, depending on pretty much where he's at on the track. Yeah, he needs those 2 cars to start battling for him to get back up there. But what a good battle we have here today for the race lead, with Hugh Haycox out in front and Duran. The S2 category has a 6-second gap between the first driver there and the second driver, so not really much of a battle. Let's take a look for this battle for the S2 class. But for this S1 class, take a look at Hugh Haycox, looking from the back of him. Duran inching a little bit closer. Don't believe we'll get the white flag this time by. No, I don't believe so. It'll be very close.
I think they will get the white flag. They're certainly not going to make it. They'll get through this time, but they So this will be the last lap of the race. So I'm not surprised that Hugh is going for the move. Sorry, Rodrigo is going for the move. That surely is going to put Hugh in the trump position to try and get the run down that back straight on that final lap as well. So yeah, just bit of cat and mouse, bit of chess out there at the moment, positioning yourself to get the right run. It looks like it's easy to get a draft past as long as you get a good exit out of the hairpin. So let's see how this one plays out. What other battles have we got that are going on? Not a huge amount. Michael de Beck, he is having a little battle, and that's with Lin. Lin has just been in the mix the whole race. He's going to have loved this race. Either that or he'll hate it because he was under the pressure the whole time. I've got to go back to the battle to the lead. They're side by side. Oh,
damage for Duran.
Yeah, did perhaps while we just clicked away there, did Duran clip the wall? That was quite possible. I was surprised they're battling at this point. I have to say, I thought Hugh would have waited, but maybe he feels like he can get it done. Oh, there's no issues.
What a great run for Duran.
Yeah, there is no issues whatsoever with Duran's speed of his car, so he's going to be able to battle just absolutely fine. Goes into the hairpin. Like I say, I definitely feel like, oh, he goes deep. That's got to have been a cunning little move just to try and mix it up. Who's got the draft? No one, side by side. So perhaps a little lift from Hugh, dying out one way and the other, trying to break that draft.
Yeah, Duran's going to defend. He has the preferred line. You see the 53 just letting him by. Very nice of him to do that. But Haycox has the lead, maintains the gap. Going to go through the final chicane.
Oh!
Into the wall.
It's going to be an absolute drag race to the start-finish line, and Duran is going to get it. Haycox just a little bit hot into the final chicane and into the wall of champions. He's going to have to win this title now, though, based on that. And we've got to go back to this other little battle that was going on, which is this. Oh, Lin gets the move. Oh, there's contact behind as well. De Beck and Biritoni involved in that one.
Yeah, what a great battling all the way around. This series is amazing. Coming around to the final turn, your S2 category winner, Antonio Reyes. Congratulations to him for winning the S2 and extending his points lead over Bob Kern. Great run for him. And then second, Ryan Sorrell in 17th overall, second in the main championship S2 category. Simone Mayer rounding out the podium for the S2 class, and a lot of S2 drivers behind him. But Rodrigo Duran, your race winner, with a last-second move from Hugh Haycox to go around him in the final corner and then to get into the wall of champions and to allow Duran to get around him. I mean, his hands must have been shaking, Alex, going into those final corners.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he went in pretty hot as well into that chicane because he knew that he needed to get the run essentially off the corner, but he didn't overcook it. He took lots of the curb, but got an absolute perfect exit, and was able just to carry that momentum in and across to the finish line as well. What a great race! 2.5 tenths of a second separating our top two at the end of that race. Fantastic battle.
Yeah, it was a great battle. Just phenomenal race, and you always see here at the Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warrior Series, and just it's always a blast covering these races. I believe all the drivers have crossed the start-finish line. I know the demo derby will happen post-race, which is really cool. Not quite.
A few people run out of fuel though, so perhaps not quite going to be as crazy as before.
Well, it looks like we have Hugh Haycox waiting down below. Hey, Hugh, you got us? We'll see if Hugh can join us in a little bit when he comes back. But what a great run for him.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Right here. Hey, congratulations on another great podium.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was such a great race. I'd be a bad commentator if I didn't ask this. What happened on the final turn?
Pushing too hard, I guess, is the only answer. I really didn't have to push. It was right up my backside, so I just had to take it easy, but I pushed too much and hit the wall. That's how it goes, I
Yeah,
guess.
you put on an effort. Like I used to own a four-wheeler racing team. I told the kids that race, bring me the handlebars of the trophy, and you pretty much took the steering wheel of the trophy for that one. But uh, such a great race for you. Um, we didn't really see it towards the end of the race. So what was the strategy to getting up to the front?
Well, I just saved. I was P7 with a good gap behind me, so I was just lifting and cursing into every corner, saving as much fuel as I could, because I knew it'd be over a gallon of fuel to refuel. And then I waited till the last lap to pit, and managed to get in front of Forzen and Austin on that lap, and I did a great pit in, and I gapped them quite a bit, I think. So I just came out right behind Rodrigo.
Awesome. Before we let you go, anybody like to thank?
Yeah, Jim McGill and you guys for broadcasting, of course, and Stevie Ray for putting this on as usual. So yeah,
Awesome. We'll see you next week.
thank you.
That's Hugh Cox, second place in the S1 categories. To take a look at the results, we'll go through them real quick. Rodrigo Duran with the win after the last lap pass or last corner pass on Hugh Haycox, who you just heard earlier today or earlier. Rafael Berbagal, Florence Arabian, Austin Winter, Gorka Itaret, David Bohm, Daniel Sadro, Felix Simoes. We have Lynn, Ian Haycox, Bertoni, Fritzer, Dobek, Durelli, and then your S2 category uh, race winner, Antonio Reyes with Ryan Sorrell in second. Weatherly in the S1 category finishes 18th, followed by in the 19th position, Bobby West, and then your final podium position of Simone Mayer in the S2 category. Then you have Miro, Yuri Cox, Brian Short, Bob Kern, Nico Schuch, Jeff Jacobson, Kurt Nunez, Dominic Barreau, who had a lot of battle and put on a really good show for us. And
Oh, there's
great
the
job to him, man.
derby in the background.
And then the Derby in the background. And then we got 29th finished was Samuel Dick. Oh, look at that car on his lid. Adam Bradshaw, Franco, Bately, Jackson, Breme, Tom Gradwell, Ian Gibson. We have Yost, Johan Butinga in 38th. And then 39th position. I have to take a breath. We have Mats and then Brett Nordstrom, Angus Waddell, Peter Rokers, Arthur Grant, Tim Van, Jim McGill, Matthew Flipowitz, Jeff Cantor, and then Claudio in 48th, 21 laps down. And then
50 cars.
Ari and Mark, excuse me, also 21 laps down. What another race, Alex. This series never seems to disappoint. Uh, I'd like to thank everybody for watching, Alex. I mean, if you didn't like this, I don't know what kind of racing you're gonna like. Any last words from you?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, another good race. I think we're going to be spoiled to good hard battling. It was difficult to keep track of kind of what everything was going on throughout that one, and it's always good to see lots of battles throughout the field. I do have one request that I would just like to put out to the drivers, and I hope you are still watching at this point when you're going through the results. Is at the moment we've got a lot of privateers down here. You may be running as privateers indeed, but if you are not and you're with a team, then please do head over to the SDK Gaming, so it's sdk-gaming.co.uk website, and there's a driver information app. It's completely free of charge, and you can upload all of your details. So your team name, perhaps a little bio, give us some information that we can talk about on the broadcast as well, and yeah, obviously update your team and things like that as well, so we can have that information for these final standings, for example. Very useful. And then like even like your country flag can be overridden from the default ones, where like you got the UK and I there for Raphael. Like I'm sure he's probably in UK and I club, but I dare say that that is not his native flag. I may be wrong, but yeah, it'd just be nice just to get that little bit of data done. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to. I know I've got perhaps 5 of these that I'm covering left, and looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season pans out. Definitely no disrespect to the championship leaders and things like. Well, S1 is really close, but yeah, I want to see someone give the fight to Reyes, just so that we have a bit of a championship battle in S2 for the rest of the season, because he is looking extremely strong at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And that the SDK software for the driver's info is very easy to use. I even figured it out. So if I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. But what a great battle we had here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warriors Series presented by 42 Stitches. Next week, they take on the short course of Road Atlanta, the famed Road Atlanta, where you saw Petit Le Mans this weekend. For Alex Simpson, I'm Avery McDonald, everybody at Apex Racing TV. We'll see you next time